This show is brought to you by our patrons at patreon.com/Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
Robots Radio presents The Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, a place where the Elder Scrolls community can come together to discuss the boundaries of our knowledge about the universe of the Elder Scrolls. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show, adventurers. I am here with my co-host, who is now my regular co-host, Lotus of Doom. Welcome, Lotus.
Hello.
How's it going?
Things are well enough that I'm here. I was going to say, internet issues aside, if I suddenly disappear, it's because my internet completely self-destructed, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but so far so good. And I am your host, Robots, as usual. And the two of us are here live. It's Thursday night. It's 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's probably other times other places across the globe. And we are here live with our patrons this week because this is the end of the month patron episode. Welcome, guys. How's it going? We've got our regular cast of characters here. We've got let's just go down the line. Bob, welcome back. How's it going?
What up? How's it going, everyone? Glad to be here.
What up? And then Bribone, welcome. Hello. And Lincoln, this is your double dipping this month, buddy.
Oh yes, I am. Yeah, I'm jumping into both pools, both the
Fallout Lorecast and the.
I was gonna say the kiddie pool and the other kid pool. I don't know which one would be which.
There's two kiddie pools. They're both nice. You can pick which one you want.
They're small enough that you can have a foot in each. That's fine.
Yeah, just don't pee in either of them.
Yeah.
Welcome.
No promises.
So we're doing this for the first time with not only live, but also with video of our patrons. So if you want to see their human meat faces, then you can tune in and see them. They're beautiful individuals. I could spend the rest of the episode going into the details of all the little bits and pieces of their faces. But instead of doing that, we are talking this week about mods and add-ons for Elder Scrolls games. So things like modding Skyrim or putting add-ons for ESO. Bob is shaking his head. What's up, Bob?
Oh, dude, I'm watching the Nuggets, man. You'll just have to forget all my gestures.
Okay. I thought you were responding.
I thought
I'm gonna get very animated here. You know, I'll keep it muted. Don't worry.
I thought you were mad about the topic. You were like, "What? We're talking about mods?"
No.
Flip the desk behind you and just storm out.
Slam a perfect alley-oop. Like, I gotta stop.
he just muted himself mid-sentence.
I mean, hey, I'm a Sixers fan. I have no connection to Philadelphia, so
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how sports ball works. So
I was gonna say this is going to turn into a sports cast. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like huge sports fan. So.
Post show.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Bob, you and I can talk later.
Yeah. So speaking of Elder Scrolls, which has nothing to do with putting a ball into a hoop.
It seems like an Argonian thing, though.
I feel they do have that little game that they play, right? What is that called?
I don't remember what it's called because you can run into them in Murkmire and they're like tail whipping the thing around and
and they're debating the rules.
Who's saying it doesn't make any sense?
Right,
tail ball or something.
It's like tail ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's close enough.
That's totally a thing. All right, so let's get back here. We are talking about mods. We're talking about add-ons, any kinds of modifications, changes you can make to the games. And I know a number of you guys play on console, but you can modify these games now on console, right? So who would like to start? I'd love to hear some of your perspectives on what you've done modding the games and the way that you actually tackle that. Who'd like to go first?
I guess I can start if nobody else wants to go.
Yeah, kick us off, Lincoln.
I'm in a very similar boat to where I was if you guys watched or listened to the Fallout Lorecast episode on mods, where I don't do heavy mods, where like I don't do full like overhauls. I do more like small ones, like graphical upgrades or extra map markers, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I call those the softcore mods.
Yeah, I'm not hardcore, but. So I just wanted to mention one of them. One of them that I used in Skyrim a lot was it was made in Russia, so it has a Russian name, but it essentially translates to your Vasker map marker. So like it gave me, not your Vasker, the place where the companions are. I forget what it's called. Is that what it's called? Where the companions are?
Well, they're in what, Windhelm? No, they're in.
I know they're in Whiterun.
Whiterun.
Yeah.
House,
they're
actually
their longhouse.
The longhouse.
It has a name.
Yeah, it does have a name.
Good question.
I should probably know that. I think it's Ravasker.
That sounds right, unless I'm attributing that name to something that is totally different. I'm just like, yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, it sounds Nordish, so let's just go with it.
But that place didn't have a map marker, so I would either have to travel to Dragon's Reach,
right,
or the front of Whiterun, either way, and then I had to run to it. Mm-hmm. So I had an extra map marker. That was basically, for the longest time, the only mod I had in Skyrim. So that essentially took. That was my first.
Also, you are correct. It is your Vasker. I double checked.
I remembered.
Nice. Nice. These are not words I think about very often.
I'm normally not good with this sort of stuff.
Well, it seemed right, but I'm like, what else is that? If your Vasker is not the hall, you are correct. It is your Vasker.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was
so convenience. So your go-to mod was like, I don't want to travel somewhere and have to walk 1 minute from one place to another. I just want to go right into it.
It saves me time. It does, is because the way I look at it is that overhaul mods, like the ones that even the ones of course, the one we're probably going to bring up all the time is the Thomas the Tank Engine mod.
Yes.
The one that changes the dragons into Thomas.
Yeah.
Right.
While that's a fantastic mod and it's hilarious, that's not what the developers intended. They intended it to be a dragon.
They meant for it to be the Macho Man mod.
Or that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The best thing about that is that he just keeps yelling, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But,
amazing.
Yes. Sorry, go on.
But no, you're fine. It's fine. But adding an extra map marker, it doesn't change the way the game is played. It just saves time.
Right.
So, even mods or I guess it's more of it's not a mod. It's in the game. Where you can have Zelda clothing in the Switch version of Skyrim.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's you have the tunic one. That's more of an Easter egg. But they had mods like that in the first place before the Switch version came out. There actually were plenty of Zelda themed mods because, of course, if you thought of it, it exists on the internet. But so basically just in ending, my experience is just more of a softcore experience where I don't completely overhaul.
Right. We don't have to call that. So, I just thought that would be a funny name.
I think that really needs to be called the softcore experience.
The softcore experience.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a cool perspective. Mods that don't break the experience, but make the experience more pleasurable.
Yeah, that's not helping with the softcore theme.
See, I like to enhance the experience.
Go on.
You're gonna have to put a NC-17 rating in front of this. Maybe.
This is all wait, hold on. This is all innuendo, which means that these jokes could go into a Shrek cartoon, and the kids wouldn't even know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second show I'm on, and you get an explicit tag.
Good thing Bob's muted right now because he's probably cursing up a storm watching.
Oh yeah,
he totally is. He just dropped an F-bomb. I just saw it. All right, sorry, brave one. Go ahead, keep going.
Has anyone ever seen The Revenant?
No, I still need to see it. I haven't watched it. Have you guys seen The Revenant, the movie?
Why do I feel like I might have.
That's the one where the bear mauls. Yeah.
No, you know what? I started to watch that, and I did not get to see the whole thing. So, no, I'm going to go with no because I think I only saw a half hour of it before something came up, and I didn't get to finish it.
Is that the one that Leonardo DiCaprio won an Oscar for? Is that the one?
That's the one.
Then yes. I was forgetting the name, but
So
it's been years.
If you've seen the whole thing, I feel like what they've done that's really good when they made the movie is they made you feel miserable. Like when you felt cold, you felt like you were starving and bleeding to death. Like it was an immersive experience. And so when I
just wanted to go home.
That's right. So when I mod Skyrim, I kind of do the same thing, is that I want to like feel the harshness of the environment. So I do like immersion and frost. I think it's Frostfall.
Yeah, Frostfall mod.
Yeah, it's the mods where like you have to stay warm, you have to eat food, you have to find shelter or warmth, and if you don't, you die.
Yeah, if you fight a bear, it mauls you, you bleed to death.
You slowly bleed out. You win an Oscar though.
Yeah.
Yes.
You eat raw meat.
For not talking like at all. Like, that's gonna be a slap in the face. The only Oscar you win, you like didn't talk the whole movie, right?
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes, in all honesty, that's like
there's a compliment to his acting prowess. Maybe, I mean,
but yeah,
sometimes it's harder to show words when you're not saying or to
without actually being able to say
emotions. Yeah, because if he was. Side note here, if he was just by himself talking to himself, that'd be kind of weird. Like, I know everybody talks to themselves, and like you might,
Does everybody talk to themselves?
Okay,
I would assume if
you don't talk to
I
yourself,
know you talk to yourself, Tom. Calm down.
You have like 8 different shows.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard.
I never just sit and talk to myself.
You're crazy.
Well, my buddy bot.
You have a whole character.
One character.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's the old man.
The old man. Yes, you called my name. Yeah. I have multiple characters with which I use to talk to myself. So yeah, I guess that's fair.
Multiple personality disorder. All right. No, I'm kidding.
So let's go back to Brivlin. So you're saying you create a more survival experience, kind of like any of the survival games that came out, or the what is it called, survival mode in Fallout, wherever that mode is, realism mode.
Oh. Survival, or I believe it's called hardcore in New Vegas, I believe. But
oh yeah, that's right. It was hard because there was
hardcore in Vegas.
Yeah, that was unpleasant.
Oh no, that's what I love.
Yeah.
That's
I did not like the bullets had weight in that game when I did that. That was my complaint. My ammo is so heavy.
Right. Yeah. That was.
You know that it became too real. Because I live in Colorado, and I remember I was hiking the mountains one time, and I looked out over the landscape, and I was like, "Wow, this looks like Skyrim." And I was like, instead of being like, "Wow, this is beautiful," that's when I knew that it was too real.
Yeah.
So.
These graphics are too good.
Technology has finally caught up to real life.
Yep.
But in ESO though, I'm more like Lincoln, where I'm just have a bunch of map marker add-ons and quest add-ons and sky shard add-ons, and
we'll get to add-ons. I was going to talk about mods first. We will get to add-ons.
Yeah, let's divide the two. Let's go with mods first.
Add-ons different.
Yeah, because they are functionally different. They're more only quality of life for the most part. Because they are limited, because it's an MMO and they don't want you to break the game for everybody.
Yeah, you can't just turn on God mode type of thing.
Right, or become Kermit the Frog and
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Right, yeah, exactly. More like ball. Thomas the Tank Engine starts dropping anchors into
Instead of that loud boring sound, it's just like a giant engine going down.
Yeah, totally. Perfect. Yes. Yeah, every time you hear the woo woo, the anchor is going to drop.
It's an anchor.
Oh no, Thomas the Tank Engine, so evil. Oh. All right. So you create like these like survival versions of the game. Have you actually finished a game like that, or do you just kind of dabble for a while? And myself am more likely to just dabble for a while and not actually finish a playthrough when I do something like that. But do you carry it all the way through?
Yeah, and that's like how I'm playing ESO right now, and it's actually kind of hard. Like I'm literally just playing the entire game, doing every quest of every zone, getting every sky shard. Like I feel like I have to do that. It's kind of like OCD. And so yes, I would make the game extremely hard, survivalist, and then have to play through all of it.
Wow, that's tough. Yeah, some people some people, these games overwhelm them because of the sheer amount of stuff that you can do as you move around the environment. I mean, you go through any single zone in Elder Scrolls Online, and you, especially if you have the add-ons that show you where everything is on the map, like you're just constantly moving in between each of the little things that you need to do while you're on a quest to get something. And then I'm sure that's, is that ever overwhelming? Or do you just kind of, it's just kind of enjoyable because you collect all the things?
Both.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm like really waiting. I feel like I can't go to Cyrodiil until I've done all the storylines and zones. So I'm like really wanting to go to Cyrodiil, but I just feel like I can't.
Really?
Which is crazy, right? Like I know that.
Yeah.
So that's where it feels overwhelming to me.
Huh.
Or it's kind of like jarring to me whenever I finish a zone. Like I get all the books, I get all the things, and then I go to a new zone, and then there's like 5,000 map markers, and it's like, oh, I got to start all over.
Yeah. Crap, all this stuff. I just cleaned up that last zone. Everyone's just leaving their books everywhere.
These games are so much work.
Yeah. Interesting. My wife, every time I say my wife, I think of Borat. She enjoys games because she enjoys collecting things. That's kind of her most enjoyable gameplay loop, you know? But for me, it's about exploring. So I'm more willing to, even when I have the mods or the add-ons that leave the little map markers, I'm more willing to just say, I'm going to go that way as far as I can and see what's over there, find the boundaries, find all the, like, I don't know, the meaty bits. Because if the map marker says like there's a sky shard there, then I'm like, I know it's a sky shard. Now I don't need to go find out if it's a sky shard, you know. But if I find like a dungeon or like a part of the map that looks hidden, then I feel like, oh, I need to explore this. There's something maybe in here. And I think that's what's also enjoyable about some of these games. I feel like there are places in Skyrim where you think there's going to be things and there just isn't. Like locations on the map or dungeons where you...
kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Really, you find like a little cave somewhere and there's just like nothing there. And you're
Which kind of makes it feel realistic because not everything in life just has like, oh man, there's a quest marker. It's like, nope, this is a rock. Like it's a rock and it's covered with other rocks. Like...
And in ESO, like you find an empty cave with like a weird looking rock, and you know it's a quest that you just haven't hit yet.
Yeah, totally. It's much more structured.
In Skyrim, you're right. Like,
it's like, that just happened to be a cave. Yeah, there was a bear in it, but the bear just had some bones and some like leftover crap on the ground. Like there's no treasure chest, there's no hidden letter, there's no story. And I love that stuff, but I also love the not being predictable.
I like how some of the quests are dead ends too, though. Like even like to what you said with like the paper or something like, oh, I found a note. That could be it. That could be the extent of it. It's like, oh yeah, this person went in a cave and they died. There's not a quest. They're dead.
Right.
Or sometimes it's like a letter to their wife, but they were like traveling from Cyrodiil, so like you can't
go there.
You can't
right.
You can't go to Cyrodiil in Skyrim, so it's like. It's like, oh, I love you, whoever. Like,
I'm traveling to Skyrim in order to prove my love for you. I will return soon. And it's like, nope, sorry, you didn't make it.
Nope,
you got eaten by a bear.
Blood spattered note. It's like, oof. Unfortunately, this ended.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Cool. Bribon, any other thoughts on modding before we move over to Bob, who is completely enamored right now with basketball?
No. Not yet. It's still halftime.
Take it away, Bob.
Oh, so you're this emotional about halftime?
They play highlights and it reminds me of things.
Intense commercials.
Wow.
Hey, man. This bacon has a sad face. It's intense.
Anything else, Bob? Or Bribon?
Not at all.
Cool. Okay. All right. Bob, what's your experience with modding?
Pretty much absolutely nothing at all. My first experience was with modding was that like Skyrim like special edition. They're like, oh, look, console players, we're gonna throw you a bone, we're gonna let you mod stuff, but like not all the mods, but like, you know, most of them. It's like, okay, well, I guess that's kind of cool. But then when you would mod things, it would be like, oh, by the way, you're not going to get any achievement points at all. So
that was kind of
like
a game breaker for you, huh? A deal breaker.
Yeah, because I was like really big on. I still am, not as much anymore, especially with Bethesda games because they can be so broken. But I was super into trying to like perfect them, get all the achievements on Xbox. Bragged to all my friends. That was a big thing in high school. So the mods kind of like were iffy for me, but when I finally got around to it, honestly, Skyrim never really that much, but I did mod a pretty substantial bit in Fallout 4 when I could.
Yeah.
After I'd gotten a good deal of achievements, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, not too much in the modding. Skyrim, I guess probably my favorite one were some of the like Zelda ones, Master Sword, Epona. There was one really sick one because like, you play Skyrim for so many years and then they're like, here's this new Skyrim and you can't do anything that you did before. Like you have to start over. And I was like, okay, that sucks. So there's this like cool mod that just lets you break the game and get everything you want. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that.
I think I actually know which one you're talking about.
It was like one of my buddies with every pieces of gear, and I was like,
yep.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's just a chest like right out the gate.
Yeah, so it's like,
it's like gears, dated armor.
Yes.
Now I am back to at least where I was when I finished Skyrim, but the whole world is open for me to do the stuff over again. So then I never played it.
I feel like that
Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I feel like that's also a start to a lot of mod stories. Like, I finally got these 87 mods to all not crash my system, and then I didn't play the game. It's like I spent so long getting it to work that it like killed my drive to play it. I've heard that from so many people. They're like, "Oh man, it's such a fine balance. You got to get the load order right." And by the time I got it working, I was over the whole situation. I just didn't even play. I was like, "What?" Okay, well, that was 40 hours I could have been playing the game.
Yeah.
I definitely love to be able to mod like Oblivion and go back and like try and mess with that, or even like New Vegas. Like both of those would be really sick to go back and like improve a bit and go through. And when I was trying to play Daggerfall and didn't get out of the tutorial dungeon, I saw there was
I did the same thing. Yes, don't worry.
Yeah, the best of us, right? So, I saw that there was a mod for Skyrim that's pretty much like most of Daggerfall, just very basic looking stuff, but probably as basic as Daggerfall looks in the first place. And it had like the story and like generic characters and stuff, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And then it was like, it's on PC only. I was like, that's when I was on console. I was like, okay, well, thank you.
Actually, I want to bring up something where I haven't experienced it myself, but I think it's a fantastic project. It's the projects where like they try to recreate like Oblivion in Skyrim or more in Oblivion.
Yeah, Sky Oblivion or
Skywind. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I think if they can do that, then they don't get sued by Bethesda, or then they're forced to stop.
Yeah, luckily they're pretty on board.
Yeah, like I know that sometimes like these like love products, projects can get like
software love products.
Software love products.
No,
that's the name of the episode.
Please no.
Softcore modding.
Softcore love products with our patrons this week.
Yeah. This is
give me your money.
We'll make it worth it. We promise.
I have some ideas for merch, Tom. But I can't say them on the air.
I don't think Teespring lets me make that stuff, but I can check.
But yeah, like I think that like Sky Oblivion is like a fantastic idea because there are definitely pluses and minuses to each engine or each game's mechanics, but then you want to experience the world of the other game, but with the mechanics of the different game. So
right, yeah. I just hope they eventually get to release some of those because they all seem like they're just never-ending projects.
Yeah, like by the time Sky Oblivion is done, Elder Scrolls 6 will be out. So they just start all over making Skyrim in the Elder Scrolls 6 engine.
That's what happened with Oblivion. Oblivion came out and they were like, "Oh, let's move Morrowind over to Oblivion," and then Skyrim came out, and then they were like, "Oh, let's do it in Skyrim." Like,
yeah,
I've never seen a project like this complete like finish, or at least get to a mostly playable state. You know,
no, they did have a. It wasn't like that, but it was a mod for Skyrim that was huge, and it like opened up a whole. You had to be like a certain quest level or a certain level they recommended, and you went to like a whole new world. And I think it was like, I don't know if it was a Khajiit world or just like a. And you like
beyond Skyrim, like Bruma and stuff like that.
No, it wasn't.
Were they extended out?
It was like an extended out game.
I've never played it, but
quest line. And it was a big, like it was a huge undertaking, and they did complete it. I wonder if I can just find. Keep talking.
There was the mod. It was a completely different game though. They're called Enderil, I think, where they took. I think it was Skyrim. Yeah, it was Skyrim, and they made a completely other game out of the engine. But it started out as a mod. You could just mod it right into Skyrim and then play it.
Oh, I see.
Did you bring in your character and have like the same level, or was it like a whole new character?
I think you started as a new character because there was like a whole storyline and everything that you went through with it.
It wasn't that then?
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, you can search as we continue to chat. Well, let's move into add-ons because that's a completely different experience, right? Yes. Elder Scrolls Online, add-ons, MMO. Other than things like map locations, which we brought up before, some of these little quality of life stuff. What I have a personal favorite add-on or add-ons, but I'd like to hear what you guys think first.
So I basically took a picture of my add-ons before we started this game.
Yeah.
Or before we started this. I'm not going to list all of them, but I'm just going to go through some what I'd basically like.
Is it above or below 30?
It's below.
Okay.
I have less than 30
3,
add-ons.
4, 5, 6,
that's
7, 8,
that's more respectable than a lot of the
13.
people
I have 13 add-ons.
It depends on if you raid and stuff too, because some of these are very specific to raiding.
Okay. Yes, those are the ones that give me more issues.
Those are the ones that are completely.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bob's on the same page with me on those.
Yeah,
I have 13 installed, but 2 of them are disabled. So, like, I'm currently not using them.
All right, so name some off. What do you got here?
First off, the one that I cannot recommend enough, and I think is a must-have if you're on PC, is I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's the Lazy Writ creator.
Yes.
Lazy Writ crafter.
Yeah. The
Yes.
Dogobons, yes.
I don't know how anybody doesn't play this game on PC and actually does crafting.
I know.
I did for the first 300 hours, and I don't know what was wrong with me.
Yeah, like literally, I did it for like the first 100 or so. I'd be like, okay, I need an axe, axe. Okay, I need a sword. Okay, I need daggers. By the time it took me to create 3 items, I was done with my add-ons with the Lazy Writ Crafter. Like that is a must. It's the same situation with me with my map marker mods. Is that it literally just saves you time.
Yeah.
You get the same results.
Right. For anybody who doesn't know, the idea behind it is instead of getting the quests, manually saying accept, and then going to say the leather working station and finding the thing and building the thing and going through each thing and then going to the next station and doing the same thing. You literally just walk up to the quest sign and it goes chunk 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 and it just accepts the quest. And then you walk up to the first crafting station and it goes crafting done. And then you go to the next crafting station, it goes, crafting, done. And then you go to the next one, crafting, done. And then you go get the other quests, you go craft, and then you're done. And then you just walk up and you just dump off all the items that, into each of the chests. And then you get all the rewards. And it even automatically opens and collects the items that you get awarded for doing all the writs. It takes like less than 5 minutes to do all of your writs on a character. There was a while I was doing this on like 6 or 7 characters every day just because it was so quick and you make so much money doing your writs.
Well, and then it tells you if you go into the stats, it'll actually tell you how much money you made from each item, what kind of what rarity or whatever that you got from the chest, if you got any sealed writs from it. Like, it even has like deep underlying stats that like give you a bunch of information about all of the writs that you do.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a very well done product.
But yeah, so
also in the T4 chat, I just put the mods that I found that I was talking about.
Cool. Yeah. And we can share these in on just the Elder Scrolls Lorecast chat as well. That way everybody can see them. So cool. Go on, Lincoln. What else do you have?
Okay, so next up, I currently don't have it enabled, but it's definitely a fantastic add-on, especially if you do PvP stuff. It's called Dressing Room. It's an add-on where you can put in. I'm gonna make a very silly, not comparison, but so if you guys play Animal Crossing: New Horizons, where you have the little star wand where you can change your
your little wand, and you go wing, and then all of a sudden your outfit just changes.
Exactly. It's basically, it's that idea where you're like, okay, I want this. This is my PvP. I want this, and that. That's my PvP set. And then I want this, and this. That's my PvE set. Or that's my
so it's not even cosmetic. It's like it literally shifts your gear.
It can be cosmetic.
Yeah.
You can use it for either.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's very, if you both do PvP and PvE on the same character, or like you have a set that's more, ideal for being in a PvP.
Yeah, that's a huge time saver.
It's instead of having to manually switch all your stuff, you just click one button or two buttons to you open up the menu and then you click that.
I'm gonna have to expose you here a bit, Lincoln. Like, what do you use that for? Because you told me you don't even have a set.
It's enabled right now.
He said it's not enabled.
Oh, okay, that's right.
But that is one that
He has dreams and goals.
He has good
dreams of Cyrodiil.
What I do
dreams are good to have.
I'm gonna counter your expose because while it is currently disabled, I was using it in the past for my training gear. Having training gear, and then I can switch it over because I believe you can set it up to where you put it in the bank and then you can take it out of the bank, or take the gear out of the bank rather, so you can put it on any character. So it's like, oh, this is my training gear, and then once I got to level 50, I was like, well, I really don't need this training gear anymore.
I think we've also updated
time saver.
The name of the episode to Counter Expose : Softcore Pleasure Products, or whatever that was. Yes.
Pleasure products.
I love products.
So
Lincoln, though, I have a question.
Okay.
Well, some of my problem with some of these mods, I really want Dressing Room, but I play on my PC with a controller, and I've
some of them don't work right. Yeah.
So does Dressing Room work with a controller? Do you know?
I don't know. Because I do know that there are some things where it's like, oh, press tilde and it'll open up that. Because sometimes it requires an extra button that wouldn't be on a controller.
Right.
So I don't know from experience, but I honestly doubt it. And I'm sure that if you're playing a controller, is your keyboard just disabled? You can't use it at all?
No,
or
it's
are
right
you on the
next to me
couch?
because I do a lot of guild trading with keyboard stuff and searching.
Saying,
so I do use a keyboard.
I'm saying, could you be on a controller and then just press that? I don't know what that was.
They have a nifty setting.
That's the sound of my press keys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a whoopee cushion. Yeah, and instead of the tactile keys or the mechanical keys, it's that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't click; it farts.
Yeah, it's like one of those pianos that you click and it makes the guy throw up.
I remember those things. A little grief.
How do we get here?
I don't know. It's fine.
Somebody should put up the last 30 seconds and be like, "This is from an Elder Scrolls Lorecast episode."
You don't see the connection?
Yeah. Okay, but so yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can make it work with a controller. It's just at the very minimum, you just have to like reach over to your keyboard and press it. Or I know that you can like pause and go into menus or something. Yeah, there's
a way to there's an option to auto switch between controller and keyboard depending on what you're
It does
using.
Get kind of janky with some of the add-ons.
It is a little janky. Yeah. There are definitely some add-ons.
Because I know that it also changes the way the UI looks.
Right. There are definitely some add-ons I can't use when I'm using controller. And for the most part, I've just kind of written those off because this is the only game on PC where I enjoy playing it with a controller more than a mouse and keyboard. And I think that's because all the action buttons are like right there. Instead of being on the number pads. Because once I take my fingers off the directional keys, the WASD keys to the number pads, I can't move and also use those numbers at the same time.
When are you going to get a gamer mouse, bro? Like, come on, man.
No, I mean, I have one. Like, I got the buttons here.
Why are you moving your hands?
because I'd rather use the controller. I feel like I'm more mobile with the controller.
No, it is designed amazingly for controllers, flawlessly. I mean, because it came out simultaneously with console, you know, or no. I mean, I don't think it wasn't the same day, was it? It was about a year.
No, it was a year later.
It was a year later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
they did a good job.
Supposed to, quote unquote,
but it wasn't. It's not like a game like, let's say a game like WoW could never work on a console, really. But like,
there's so many skills.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons.
Elder Scrolls with 2 bars.
It was designed
plus an ultimate.
Like ESO was designed like with a controller in mind. So I think that's why they went with like 5 skills on 2 bars.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting, and I mean there's definitely benefits to controllers / benefits to keyboard and mice too, specifically with the precision with the keyboard and mouse. You could just highlight a thing. It's a lot easier than trying to drift over, but it's I don't know, with some forethought, it's amazing what you can really force a controller to do, because there's just games that I play that straight up are like, no, they don't support controllers. It's like, don't tell me what to do, and I've made it work totally fine. It just takes a little work sometimes to get like 30 different functions mapped to like 9 buttons. It's like, ooh, there's a lot of hold a thing to trigger a different thing type of deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So what other odds are your other add-ons are your like go-to ones?
I want to do a little bit of a rapid fire here of just quality of life ones that just in my opinion make it a whole lot better. So one of them, it's called auto recharge. So when your weapons run out of charge, you have to put a soul gem into them. That one does it automatically whenever it gets below. You can set it to a certain percentage. I just set it at 0.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to search these while you talk about them. Auto recharge.
Yeah, Bug Eater. Whenever a bug comes up normally, it would, have a little error screen on screen. This one just puts it in the chat. So, it doesn't pause your game whenever there's an error. I just like that because it just, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes mods, especially the ones that drop lots of icons on the mini-map, trigger bugs pretty regularly. Because
speaking of mini-maps, that one is also one of the one I use is called Minimap by I believe it's pronounced Fraken. It's like Franklin without with like that, but so that's the minimap I use. There's a bunch of minimaps that out there, but if you're on PC, a minimap is almost required, in my opinion.
I don't use a minimap. I don't like it.
Maybe not.
You don't
required,
like it? Wow.
But
I love it.
It's like field of vision.
Yeah, it does take up some of your screen. This was one of the first things I added on was a minimap.
Yeah,
and I played for a while without them, but it is a lot more useful when you have them.
It's like super unnecessary, but I enjoy having it even after coming from console. It's just like sometimes there's just that one thing that you don't want to open up your map for. You're like in town and it's just like right there, or you could like see your group members like on your screen right there in your minimap, which is kind of
Well, I know you mentioned you didn't do trials. I don't know how involved you are with like some of like the end game dungeon stuff, but having a mini map would literally change the design philosophy of how you would do some dungeons. Recently, when we were doing Frostvault hard mode, and you get turned into a Skeever-tron robot thing, you have to like wind through these tunnels.
Yeah.
that, I mean, there's cues on the actual floor for like lights that you can use to navigate type of thing as a team, but you're timed as well. You have a 3-minute clock to disable 4 of these generators. And if you had a mini map where you could see where you're going, as opposed to like blundering around, same thing with Cradle of Shadows, where you have to bring up the map for the catacombs and put a waypoint marker in the middle, because otherwise you can't really navigate the maze too well without just like luck. So I could see like a mini map just being like, yeah, okay, walk this way. It's like, wow, that's a lot simpler.
Yeah. I feel like I did the Skeever one. It's been a while, but I don't remember the minimap either. Either it didn't function correctly or it was too zoomed in or something.
Oh, interesting. Well, unless you do hard mode too, you have all the time you want to do it, so there's no clock.
Right.
If you put on hard mode, you're timed. So if you can't get to where you need to go quick enough, you just all wipe immediately.
Yeah, but I distinctly remember having to pay attention to what was happening on the screen and not what was happening on the minimap. As opposed to the minimap.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, then maybe it doesn't work for that situation, because that was one of the ones that I immediately thought I was like, oh, that might be handy.
Yeah, there are locations that like the minimaps, because the minimaps are add-ons, they aren't 100% functional. So sometimes you'll like warp to a location and it'll just jank out, and all of a sudden you're like, it's like you're in the middle of the ocean, and it's like, I'm not in the middle of the ocean, but you don't know where I am. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. Like, I'm doing a lot of solo questing where a minimap sure might be useful, but like in a trial or a PvP setting, maybe I could see how a minimap would definitely help you play better with other people like actually depending on you.
Yeah. Even just awareness of where everyone else is in the group without having to necessarily see them in front of you can be beneficial. Right. But then again, it is third person, so you can always zoom out. Lincoln, you got some others?
I have a subtitles add-on that I use. It's called a Harvin subtitle add-on. It's just my favorite one that I've used. Every time somebody talks outside of chat, I can see it. I just like the way it looks.
Wait, so like players, like it? No, or is it in-game?
It's like NPCs. Like, how when you're walking by somebody and then they say the same thing that you've heard 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Oh,
do you know how long I've been looking for you?
Yeah. In your own homeland.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't just have that on. Like, that's just a thing on console. So. Oh. Yeah, that's you can just turn them on and it just it'll just scroll across the screen.
Are you saying it pops up like speech bubbles?
Yeah, is it like a speech bubble?
Okay,
because like when we have
it's on like the bottom of your screen.
Like centered.
That's actually built into the game too. You don't even need an add-on for that.
Yeah, there is a setting to turn on something similar.
I guess it makes it look slightly different.
I was going to say, unless there's also like a scripting, like they have a different type of writing or something, or maybe it was added after that add-on. You know what I mean? Like sometimes add-ons inspire in-game stuff.
Right. What was it called again?
Harven. Harven.
Harven.
And speaking of that, we forgot to mention that if any of you guys are play ESO on PC, any of the listeners right now, and you don't do add-ons, but you want to get into the add-ons, I recommend this software called Minion, which is definitely how you should be. You can manually install them, but Minion it handles everything for you. I think it's called Minion 3 because it's like the third version of it.
You search it, it'll come up. You'll find which one.
You can just Google it. You'll find YouTube videos about how it works. But so that's how I do it, anyways. But so yeah, other than like the lore books and the Sky Shard add-ons, the two more I really want to mention is it's called Surrender, S''RENDARR, which that one shows a little like all of your like buffs and debuffs that you have, which I know Bob has told me in the past I really don't need, but I like it just because it shows everything. So I know like, am I getting a negative buff? And Then the last one.
The game has that. It's built into the game.
Oh, I know, but I like the way it looks.
It changes the location.
That's what I was about to ask. Is this a thing where it's like the way? Because I was wondering that about the dialogue. It's like maybe it's just different. Like
the way they could like organize the user interface in a different way they want. But
right, because
that's what you're doing. More power to you.
Yeah, because I've noticed that with health bars. Like I'll watch people play on PC.
I'll have more to say on that.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. Sometimes the way just people's UI is set up, I'm like, what game are you playing? It's like, oh no, that's just how I like my health bars. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, Surrender, it allows you to organize them and put them in different locations. Like for example, you could have them sitting above the names, like when you're in a group and they're at the top like of your screen.
Yep.
You can have the buffs and debuffs above each person with timers on them. So you can see them like right there. There's a few other options they have for organizing it. If you just pull up the screenshots if ever you're interested, and you'll see how it looks different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another one of the ones I use.
And then the last one I'm going to mention is it's literally just called Action Duration Reminder, where once you can set it to a certain time, but once you get within a certain time frame of an ability about to expire, where like you would then have to redo it again just to keep your rotation up, it'll pop up on screen saying, "Oh, this ability is about to expire," and then like, so I have it set to half a second per.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Uh-oh. I think Lincoln broke.
Yep.
Lincoln broke.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, action duration reminder. I use that one as well. There's any other ones that you guys use that are kind of like go-tos?
I want to hear what Bob uses because he does a lot more PvP, and I'd be interested in getting into that. But I do, in addition to like the Sky Shard lore books, like those ones that pop up on the map, I do Arcadia's trade tools for all my trading guilds, and I also do Tamriel Trade Center, which tells you prices of things. I do Personal Assistant. I don't know if you guys have used that one, but that one's awesome because it classifies certain things as junk that can just automatically be destroyed, or it can be classified as junk, and anytime you open up a merchant, it'll just sell it immediately, and so you don't have to go through and like sell various items and things like that. And then I also do a fish one. I think it's Voton's fish something, and it helps you automatically fillet your fish stacks to get fish, and then it tracks perfect row that's harvested from the fish, because I do a lot of fishing.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Hello again.
Lincoln's back. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Hello. So where was I?
I don't know. You just kind of
cut off in the middle of my sentence, didn't it?
It did.
It did. Teshi, thank you for the host. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I don't remember where you were. You were talking about something.
That's
we had to move on. But I kind of finished what you're saying and saying that I used that add-on as well. There's one that I wanted to bring up for sure before we get over to Bob. And there's not a whole lot of actually there's two. There's not a whole lot of graphics updates you can make for ESO. There are a few that can change some things. And there's one that's called it's not, you don't install it through Minion, you install it directly into the
please say the only thing that I actually would ever get if I was on PC.
Yeah, I'll have to look this up. I'll look this up while I'm talking about the other one. There's another one called Voton's adaptive video settings, and this one will level out your frame rate by increasing and reducing things like draw distance on the fly in order to maintain a more steady frame rate.
Okay, that's useful.
It is extremely useful because, and they've updated it. Like the game runs better than it used to.
Sure,
but there are definitely places where you come across like a village of people, and all of a sudden your frame rate tanks, or there's lots of effects going off on the screen, and everything starts to drop. It levels everything out, and it also reduces draw distance, but it reduces some of the draw distance and some of the detail but only when things are so busy that you're not paying attention to the draw distance. So like I never notice the changes when it's adjusting. So I find that very, very useful. Let's move on to Bob. I'll look up this other one and we'll get back to it. Bob, do you use any add-ons when you're playing on PC?
Yeah, I've definitely stepped my add-on game up a little bit. Like, I definitely try not to. I'm trying to bring out my folder here. Okay, here we go. So I try not to do too many, and like I really don't like ones that infringe on like the gameplay and stuff. But unfortunately, Bribone, I have not even got into PvP at all on PC. So,
oh wow,
what? Yeah. Where is Bob, and what have you done with him?
I don't go in there.
I don't go in there.
That's
Stay
for
away.
sure, man. I think I ventured in there once, and I was in, all light gear, the stuff I'm working on for PvE, all divines. And I think I just like died on my horse from 3 snipes before I even knew what happened. I was like, I'm done.
That's what happens to me because I spend so much time doing like PvE stuff that I'm never decked out for PvP. And when I do try to do PvP because they have like an event or something, I walk in, I'm like, oh, I've got all this yellow gear. I'm all set. I've got, I tear through enemies real quick. And then all of a sudden dude rides up and it's like, burp, 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 dead. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Not to be a jerk, but I love when people do that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. I just don't have the gear spec'd out for it. So,
but I will definitely be spending a vast amount of time in Cyrodiil on PC because they're going to be live testing for the next month, 2 months almost, the AoE stuff in Cyrodiil, and the entire time testing is out, double AP will be freaking rolling.
That was freaking rolling.
That was as subtle as mine.
That was good.
Basketball, man, it gets me. Anyways, so double AP for like ever. It's gonna be
that's
so
just
awesome.
A PC thing, right?
That is just a PC.
That's what I thought because they can't do on the fly testing.
Yeah,
like that on console. Okay.
But I'm going to try and take advantage and gain some AP on my character, try and get a rank that looks a little bit significant. But
Bob, we need to talk. I need to get one of my characters decked out for PvP.
Let's do it, man. I'll get you decked out. We'll be running in there. But yeah, so I know that when I go into PvP, I'm definitely going to do the dressing room add-on that Lincoln mentioned. The action reminder one is actually significantly awesome, even coming from console, because there are certain, like, your wall of elements, for example, it's not something that the buff, like, setting you can turn on is going to tell you how long it lasts. You're kind of like, that's up to you in your head to kind of keep an eye on console. So it's nice for it to have its own little box and a countdown timer that has actually even helped me with my rotation, getting to the point where I can get a certain amount of skills off and then get back to my other bar right at the right moment, etc. So that's really cool, and I think that will come in handy a lot in PvP. So I'm excited to get in there and try stuff with that. I've seen some people have like this one where it like highlights your group members all over is really popular for PvP players. And that looks like kind of superfluous to me, but I mean, I do have also, since it's just PvP, and I was going to talk about it anyways because I think it's super freaking awesome. I mean, these are the kind of add-ons that I like, but it's just this like little kind of icon that you put it in. I have it in the corner of my screen, and it has your alliance rank and your little faction logo like DC, and it shows my rank, and it counts like as you go up your AP, it just keeps going up. And that's something, you got to go like into the user interface and look at your Cyrodiil, ranking. I mean, it just saves you a little time, so that's cool. And then outside of that, one add-on that I've found that I really like is I think it's called Gray Skull, and it is just pretty much a little box, and it tells you exactly what your spell or weapon damage is at that time on your bar. And then when you flip it, it counts for your other bar. Any buffs you put on, add to it. It's just always telling you, and you can set it where, like, when you hit a certain point, it goes like green, like you're good, you're buffed up, or
it's
red
kind of
if you're
a constant reminder of like, are you on pace for what you should be doing?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's nice for even me, like, well, I'm getting closer and closer, working towards, kind of getting to a point of where I feel comfortable doing like closer to endgame stuff on PC. It's nice to be able to focus on like, okay, I like to keep my spell damage like right over 2k right now is about as far as I can push it. Buffed up 2.5. So it's nice to be able to like watch and make sure, because that's something on console it's pretty much impossible. Like you would have to be going in and out of the interface constantly, and it doesn't really work. So that one is really cool. And minimap, sky shards, all that good stuff. But another one that apparently not a lot of people seem to know, I thought coming from console that everyone knew about this, but the auto invite is super freaking awesome. Especially for like, I go to Alik'r all the time, and you just
Dolmen farms,
pop X in the chat, and someone's usually got a group up.
Yeah, I recently found out about the fantasticness of the Alik'r Desert. Like,
for leveling.
I had to show Lincoln. The Dolmen.
Grind.
Like, and then I was like, I knew it existed. Like, I knew it was a thing. I knew that the Dolmen farms were a thing, but I'd never like actually done it myself.
Yeah.
And then I went over to the desert, and
it's an eye-opening experience.
A group of like 50 people, all in unison, are like get on their horse, and then sprint to the way shrine, and then go to the next one. And I was like, oh, this is it's like a bunch of ants. Like,
yes,
it could be a bunch of bots almost. It looks like it's so close.
Yeah, it's like the.
Is the reason they do that just because in the Alik'r, like those two dolmens are just perfectly spaced out? Like why?
They're all three of them are in a very specific loop.
It's you can predict. They either go counterclockwise or clockwise in order between three of them, and there's just enough time to warp to a way shrine, run to the dolmen with this massive group of people, and then you just destroy the dolmen like within 10 seconds. It takes more time for Molag Bal to say his lines and drop the big boss guy than it does to kill everything. Yeah. And then everyone gets back up on their horses. They go to the next one. They just warp in order to wherever the next one is, and then they ride their horses. They go and just do it. And that timing is like perfect between all three of them.
Yeah, I was there sometime last week, and there had to be at least 100 people. Because there was an X group, a Y group, a Z group, and then somebody started like a D group. So
Zoss does not like the dolmen grind, hence why Harrow Storms were so all over the place. There's however many 10 of them, I think, and most people don't notice there's literally no way to calculate. It's a random dice roll which ones go live, and it's to prevent people from getting, because that was a thing that it's kind of like they're obviously not so concerned to fix it, but I've heard several times that like that was not intended to be like a leveling method.
Well,
you build things and then you play with them. You get
and that they learn in that scenario, because I've heard that several times where it's like it's a conscious effort now. It's like we can't make it that easy to get to those. Like that is too easy there.
Yeah.
So
one more that I have, and that is the assist rapid riding, and that is amazing. You hop on your mount, throws rapids on your bar.
It's just automatic.
Yes, automatic, bro. It is the most amazing thing ever created for any person. Like, it's pretty much cheating in my book.
I was gonna say pretty much.
I mean, you shouldn't be able to do this, but whatever, man. That is like as far as I'm gonna go. But oh my god, that in Cyrodiil is like you pretty much have to either on console you have to make a sacrifice and choose to have rapids on your bar, and you're like the dude that everyone's like, dude, give me rapids, or you actually play the game as a full PvP player with 10 skills. So these are big choices that you have to make in your life.
It's so easy to find a group. No, it's so easy to find a group when you're on when you're like, yo, I've got rapids, and you get invites so fast because people are like, oh, thank God, I don't need to use rapids. Like,
exactly. Get that that extra slot. You can fit in whatever you want.
Yeah.
Have you heard of, or do you use Miat's PvP alerts? Have you heard about that one?
No.
Is that the one that it kind of shouts out where stuff is flagged and stuff?
It's the one that it basically tracks everyone else's skills and tells you when a channeled attack is about to end. And so I've read a lot in forums about.
God.
I've read a lot in forums how it's cheating, but I didn't know.
That's so smart.
It's not necessarily cheating, but PC players just need their hands held really tight sometimes. So,
Look, I didn't say it, but I would have. So
man,
I appreciate it, Bob. Oh my!
Hey, they could come kill me in PvP because they can see when my stuff's channel is going to end.
That's crazy. Just to hear that.
That's pushing the border for sure.
Whoa.
Huh.
I mean, it's good enough that it's going to tell you when to take your own potions and cast your own spells on time. Like, do you really need it to also watch the other person for you?
Of course.
That's intense. Of course. That is intense.
That's great. That's great. So,
will the game also, just play itself for you?
You just watch.
Yeah.
You just watch it. Autopilot itself. Drives around. Yeah.
I'm good at the game. I'm just kidding.
So here, we're getting close to the end of the episode. The last one I wanted to bring up is a Sweet Effects preset. Do you guys know what Sweet Effects is? It's a way of affecting some of the graphics of a game by
more particles.
It doesn't actually change the in-game settings. It's more like overlay filters that can do things like increase contrast or make textures look a little bit sharper through some sort of filter. And there's one called Sweet Effects Heroic 3.11 Realistic Preset. There are several of these. This is the best one I've found. It's actually one of the older ones. And there's a balanced setting, a heroic setting. I use the heroic setting because it makes all the textures it's like a synthetic way of making the textures look sharper and more detailed than they actually are, but I like the way it looks compared to the base way it does with the added contrast. And this is one of those things. If you turn this on and you play with it and then you turn it off, the game looks faded. It's as if there's just kind of this faded gloss over everything, and then you turn this back on again, and all of a sudden everything pops. It's like the saturation, the contrast, everything pops a little bit. I've had people comment on my videos and just be like, "Wow, your game looks amazing. How does it look like that?" And it's
interesting.
Just this little setting. Then there's a super heroic setting where I don't know if you've ever played with Photoshop and over sharpen something, and it looks like there's artifacts and stuff in the textures. I don't like that one's too much. But the heroic one is just right. And I put a link in the chat. Sweet Effects Heroic 3.11. You just drop it into one of your install folders and it will just automatically load with the game. You can't run it through Minion. It actually has to replace some of the files, or at least load alongside some of the files or something.
Did it crash your game?
It's never crashed my game. Here, take a look. I'm going to share this in the chat. You guys can. I shared the actual link for it, but check out. Oh, that screenshot doesn't actually open to a screenshot. Anyway, go look at the screenshots. You'll see what I'm saying. There's one where it has a Khajiit warrior, and a side by side comparison, and the contrast the way the colors, even just like the sharpness of the the leather on his armor or the wood and on the building behind him. It just all stands out. Everything looks blurrier in the original one.
You guys ever find that like your game is blurry when you're talking to an NPC and then after like 5 seconds it clears up?
That's texture pop-in. Are you running it on?
Yeah.
Are you running it on a regular hard drive instead of an SSD?
I'm running on SSD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a load-in error that we have constantly on console because there's just simply not enough resources available at this point to run things flawlessly. I mean, it's not usually too bad, but at the same time, sometimes you'll notice if you're bouncing around from load, and then talk to somebody, it's just like, oof, there go those textures. Like,
It could be a memory issue as well. You might be running out of system memory.
Interesting.
So
I have a pretty good PC.
Pull it. It might just be the game. Maybe the game's limited on certain things too. I haven't noticed it on mine, but I don't know. Cool.
It could be. I mean, it could be that I'm selling add-ons.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, I was going to say the possibilities of things conflicting are also always there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, guys, anything else you want to bring up before we wrap up the episode?
The only one I suggest everybody look at, because I never shut up about it, and it's the only add-on I really want, and it makes me sad that I don't have add-ons, is Oblivion Ui, where all it does is turn the modified Skyrim UI that you have in Elder Scrolls Online, it takes it, it throws it out, and instead it's Elder Scrolls 4. That's just all it is. It just makes it the flip pages, and that's my favorite UI in the series. So the fact that somebody specifically made that UI, I saw it on what was it, Bert Firkin's thing. He's one of the stream team members, and I was like, what is this? He's like, oh dude, he's like, check this add-on out. It's Oblivion UI. I was like, well, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I need this. Like that would be, out of all the options of things that make your lives easier that you guys just listed, that would be the first thing I would get.
Yeah, I do have a fondness for Oblivion, and the way that some of that stuff looked. I don't know. The Skyrim style is a little too clean for a game that's all medieval, and I assume everything should be in tattered notebooks and covered in dirt. Right. It is very modern and sleek. It is very, and it. When Skyrim first came out and we popped it in the night that it launched, it was like, what is this? Because it was just very clean. It was and I was like, I liked the parchment pages that you had in the older games, and I just thought Oblivion's was like the best of all of them. So that's my dream. That's my dream add-on.
I did play Oblivion not too long ago, and I was like, this just feels right.
Yep. I'm telling you, check out the UI for it. It's amazing. I couldn't believe what a good job they did with it. I was like, wow, it looks exactly like what I remember it looking like.
Wow.
Love it.
Wow. Very cool. Anybody else? No? How's your basketball game going, Bob? It looks like it's going really well.
Yeah, you seem real happy.
He's all
it is not.
Yeah.
They're only down by 25 with 8 minutes left.
Perfect. So as long as I actually don't know who the Nugs are playing tonight, but
the LA Clippers, man.
Oh, they're playing the Clippers. Yeah, all right.
Which is like even worse because they're like the close them and the Lakers. It's like SoCal. It's like great.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, why don't we wrap up the episode? Let's go back through, and if you guys are interested in sharing anything about what you're doing or how do people get a hold of you, then let's do some shout outs. Let's go back through, starting with Lincoln.
All right, yeah. If you guys want to contact me, I'm an admin here on the Robots Radio Discord, so feel free just to get in contact with me. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at EllisMan with 2 N's. Lincoln, L1NKN, and I tweet a lot of. Oh yeah. I tweet a lot about a lot of different things, but they're all very me. So yeah,
good stuff.
Cool. And and when you get time, you do stuff with the Lorecasters Guild. He's wearing the Lorecasters Guild shirt.
Yeah, you can get this shirt on.
You wore the Red Diamond
Robots
Courier.
Radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing, legendary, honestly.
So yeah. Also, here's my my monthly reminder that we have a guild in Elder Scrolls Online for all 3 platforms now, with the lone exception of an EU Xbox guild, but nobody has come forward. So whatever. But
yeah, we'll get there at some point.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually once we get enough people. But yeah, we're getting close to 150 members in on the PCNA at least. Yeah. So if you're interested in joining us, playing some things, I organize events. I'm trying to do at the bare minimum once a month, but it's getting kind of hard with school and work and all that.
That's fine. I'm trying to stream more too, so I'm trying to plan out some stuff. I think I'm going to start doing some Fashion War stuff, kind of like Tooniversal does with his Fallout, but Elder Scrolls. So we'll have themes like, pirates or superheroes or whatever, and we'll have some competitions and things where people can dress up and walk down a runway, and we'll judge their costumes, which I think will be a lot of fun because there's so many different things you can design for your character to look like in Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah. So if you're interested in doing that, since we're talking guild stuff, then definitely drop into our Discord and just search Robots Radio Discord or look in the show notes and you'll find that stuff. And yeah, I'll get Toon. Toon should join me to do those as well. I think that would be a lot of fun. We'll plan a night coming up soon. I'll have some announcements on the Discord and on Twitter about that, or just tune into some of my streams and you can ask there as well. Cool. Well, Brib1, how can people get a hold of you?
I think the Discord's probably the best, or in game. I go by Brib1 for everything. My character's name is Brib1. My Discord name is Brib1. Elder Scrolls username is Brib1. My Animal Crossing character's name is Brib1.
That's a good cross branding.
Hey, you and I need to visit each other's islands.
Yes, it's funny because I actually got my wife playing, and so it's actually her island, and I'm the second guest on it. But she's killing it. She's
as like, in real life.
Yeah, my wife loves that game. Yes.
I was going to say, you talked about collectibles. How you like cherries?
What was that, Bob?
So the real question is, do either of you guys have pears or cherries? Because, I need all the fruits.
Yeah. Our island has like everything on it now. She just makes everything. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
So anyway, that's how you get a hold of me.
All right. And Bob?
Yeah, so you can find me all over the place. I am half of the awesome Elder Scrolls Online podcast, the Red Diamond Courier. That is part of the Robots Radio Network. You could catch both me and my co-host Dogged in the Robots Radio Discord. We even have our own little fancy channel and everything. I'm on Twitter all the time, Bob_Chachinsky. Same on Twitch. I've been finally back to streaming. Exciting. I will get to do one more New World stream tonight, and then it will be taken away, and I'll be back to streaming Elder Scrolls all the time. So it'll be good. Some more Elder Scrolls streams coming on, and weekly podcasts coming out for you guys to check out. So
nice.
All over the place.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to talk. I need to get my PC guys up for PvP time, right? Yeah. In fact, other guildies, why don't we talk and set up some times to knock out some PvP stuff, go to Cyrodiil, do some adventures. Maybe Bob can teach us about, what skills we need to use and things like that. That could be fun, because PvP is not my main bag, but I definitely need a character that can work on that and do better.
All right. I know we're getting towards the end of the episode, but I got to go like right now. So
okay.
I'm going to head out.
See you, Lincoln.
So I'll see you guys,
Bye.
and hopefully I'll be back next month.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for being here. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Lotus, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm Lotus of Doom on Twitter. I try to remember to check Discord, but that's a mixed bag. I stream over at Lotus of Doom on Twitch, and then the other podcast that I'm part of, besides now apparently being a consistent joiner of the Lorecast, is the other podcast that I'm part of as one of the hosts of Tales of Tamriel over at the Dungeon Crawler Network. So it's just one big happy family now of everybody all making podcasts together. So
hey, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yeah,
we got to stick together, man.
Exactly.
With summer falling off, I
was going to say, the landscape has changed quite a bit recently. So there's
yeah,
we're kind of the remaining beacons until things flesh themselves back out and people reorganize into their new situations. So
yeah, but we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here, and we're doing this regularly. So thank you for everybody for tuning in. You guys know how to get a hold of me. You can send me stuff on Twitter or on the Discord or wherever. Also, please remember that this is live on Twitch at twitch.tv/robotsradio every week, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. And I'm going to be streaming some days during the week in the evenings, and then also some days during the week during the days when I get, once my son gets settled with this whole working from home school thing, I'll have a little bit more time for some of the day streams that I want to do. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with a regular episode next week, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Thanks for being here. Have a good one. And now I'm going to play the outro music. Thanks for listening to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. All sounds and music are owned by Bethesda Softworks or ZeniMax Studios, and no copyright infringement is intended. If you have something you'd like to contribute to the show, please reach out to us at elderscrollslorecast@gmail.com or on Twitter at ESO Lorecast. If you'd like to help support the show, check out the rewards you can get at patreon.com/Elder Scrolls Lorecast. I really appreciate you listening, and I'd love to hear from you soon. And thanks to our patrons for support, especially our Tier 5 patrons, including Noodle Al Dente.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.